What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Pens and Tea. My name is Carrie, and today we're going to continue in our quest to find the top 5. Last episode was the top 5 piston fill, and today is going to be the top 5 cartridge converter fill pens. So much like last time, these top 5 is in no particular order. It's not exclusive. There are crazy amount of cartridge converter pens. So I have only picked 5 that I use on a fairly regular basis that I own that I think are really, really great. Like I said, it's not exhaustive at all. There will be some on the list that you may agree with, some on the list that you may disagree with. But that's just the name of the game. These are my top 5. And as always, with any fountain pen, there are definitely going to be pros and cons to each pen. But I think it's a great way to kind of into the cartridge converter world. So let's get started. The first pen that I'm going to talk about in my top 5 is the Platinum Century 3776. If you follow me at all on social network, aka Instagram, I'm kind of a slacker when it comes to Twitter, you are going to know that I am obsessed with this pen. I own 3 of them, and this one happens to be a broad nib. I absolutely love these pens. I love the weight of them. You can post them quite securely. I love the slip and seal technology that Platinum has, so that you can keep this pen inked up. They claim for 2 years. The longest I've ever kept it inked up and unused, just to kind of test, was about a month, and it started no issues whatsoever. It is beautiful. I also love that this pen, not that you can quite tell in my lighting, it is nighttime. If I'm just gonna bang around there, it is nighttime. I'm in my kitchen. It's not the best lighting, but you can see through the pen a little bit. So it is a little bit of a demonstrator. So I really love that. This broad nib in particular is so smooth. Writes like butter. There's not really much feedback to this one. If you get a fine nib in these, then it is a little bit more feedbacky, but I still love it. The next one that I have on my list is a bit of a conundrum for some people. There's a very big debate between the Lamy All-Star or Lamy Safari and the Pilot Metropolitan. Fountain pen people, man, we debate for ages which one is the better one between the two for starter pens. I am on the Pilot Metropolitan team. Don't get me wrong, I like the Lamy ones, but my first ever fountain pen was a Pilot Metropolitan. It was all silver. This one happens to be part of the Retro Pop line. I like that it is a snap cap, so it's very easy to get to. You can post it pretty securely. It's comfortable posted or unposted. Large grip section so that you're not, impeding on this step up here. It writes very, very wet. This is a fine in particular, but it is still a pretty wet writer. It does come with the squeeze bladder converter, but you can put the Pilot Con 50 in there if that is your choice. You can, if you have other Pilot Metropolitans, you can switch out the nib units if you want. It's very easy to clean. You just pull this out, it's friction fit. It's pretty dang cheap. And I mean, you can pretty much do whatever you want to it and you're not gonna break this pen. So I really, really like that. I think it's a great pen to get people started with, and it's really easy to clean and maintain. And that I think is really important with starter pens, that it's easy to clean and maintain. So definitely gonna keep this up. Oh, by the way, all these 5 that I'm bringing up today, I have also done full reviews on. I'm gonna put all 5 in the iCard above. So if you wanna check out further details of them where I go a little bit more heavily into them, check that out, because they all be there. The next pen I have on here is the Parker Dualfold. This one in particular is one from the 80s with the blue marble finish. But I do quite enjoy the modern pens as well, that look a little bit different. Again, I have reviews of them if you check my backlog here. I really, really like the way this writes. This nib itself is also from the 80s, but it still writes amazing. It's very smooth, very generous with the ink flow. I love the way that it feels. Even the threads and the step are super, super smooth. It just fits very nicely in my hand. It's actually got a little bit more weight to it than you would expect, with a resin pen or a plastic pen. So I enjoy that. The weight seems similar to the Pelikan M800 series. So I enjoy that. You can post it, but it doesn't post super deep. But it's meant to be used unposted. It is long enough to do so. It's great. And I mean, that material is just gorgeous. So definitely any of the Dualfold, specifically the Centennial size, is in my top 5. The other pen that I have on here is also a bit of a debated pen in the fountain pen world because of the design. I happen to like it, obviously, and that is the Edison Nouveau Premier. This one happens to be one of the Goulet pen exclusives with the kind of pointed tips. Some people love them, some people absolutely despise them. I like it because it's something different. Most pens either are very soft at the end or they're completely flat. I like that this is unusual. This one in particular is from the 2016 winter edition. What I love about these, other than like the material, almost all of the Edison materials that I've seen, and I have many Edison pens, I love the material. They're so chatoyant. The depth of material is beautiful. I love specifically this one because it's warm and cool at the same time. This one in particular, I actually upgraded for one of their gold nibs to try that out. So it writes like a dream. I love that they're standard international. Edison Pens is big on using international parts because then if for whatever reason down the line he's not around, the company's not around, whatever, you can get it fixed by other people and not just him exclusively, which I think is a very awesome thing to do. It is completely plastic, so you can eyedropper convert this as well if you don't want the cartridge converter, but of course this is top 5 cartridge converter. So I really like that. You can also take the nib and the feed out. You can screw it out of the nib unit if you want to. Otherwise, if you want to get even if you want to get an even better clean out of it, you can pull the entire nib and feed out. It's friction fit, so that you can completely clean the pen, which I very much enjoy because I'm a bit of OCD when I clean my pens, so any trace of ink left in there just bothers me. So I like that. And I love the weight of this. You cannot post these pens, but they are long enough so that you don't need to. It's a teeny bit narrow, the grip section, but I don't really care. I love it. I think that this pen could be around for a very long time. So that definitely is on my list. And the last pen that I have on my top 5 is the Delta Masterpiece medium size. In real life, this is a little bit darker orange than what's showing up on the camera, just as a heads up. There are a lot of unique things about this. Even though this is the medium size, it is still a relatively large pen. I have used their oversized pens and they are way too oversized in my opinion. This pen, I love the threading. Oh my goodness, I have never had a pen that is so soft. And even when you do the barrel, it just glides. Like, it's beautiful. It does come with a kind of fancy cartridge here, converter, so that way you can fill it if you so choose without taking off the body. You can actually remove the end here and have full access to the cartridge in the pen, which I think is kind of handy. Kind of weird, but kind of handy at the same time. The nib is gorgeous. It's very smooth. This is a fine nib and it stays pretty dang fine, but it's nice and wet still. I really, really enjoy it. I will admit that I put a little bit of work into this nib just to make it a bit more wet to my taste, but man, I like it. And I like the fact that it looks different than a lot of other pens. I like the vermeil trim. I like the logo on the top. Normally I'm not a huge gold accented fan, even though a lot of my pens have it, but I really enjoy the boldness of this pen. And like I said, for being a medium-sized pen, this is still a pretty large pen. You can post it. It does become a little bit back heavy for me when posting, but if you have larger hands, you probably will enjoy it posted. So that is my top 5 cartridge converter pens. I do have some honorable mentions, 2 of them in particular. And the first one is the Waterman Kareem, however you want to pronounce it. Unlike the Delta Masterpiece, Delta Dolce Vita Masterpiece, if you want to get particular, this is a very classic pen. It's kind of like a boat shape here. It is a snap cap with a nib there, also gold nib, and you unscrew the body, pretty much like all the others. This one made the honorable mentions instead of the top 5, mainly because it's a little bit narrow for me. So for long writing, it can be a little bit fatiguing. It posts very well, but again, it comes a little bit back heavy for me. The main reason, even though it's very smooth, I enjoy it. It just doesn't seem to be, for whatever reason, a pen that I choose over others. I don't know why. Every time I use this pen, I'm like, this pen should be in my rotation. Why, oh why, do I constantly forget about this pen? It's amazing. But for some weird reason, I always seem to overlook this pen, despite the fact that every time I ink it up, I love it. Explain that to me. I don't know. But that's why it's in my honorable mention. The other honorable mention, and don't get mad at me for showing you this finish, I just think it's beautiful, even though it's hard to come by, which is the Pilot Vanishing Point. This one happens to be the Twilight finish, which is gorgeous. I love the fact that this nib is retractable. It's one of the, pretty much the only clicky nibs in the fountain pen world that exists. And if you unscrew the back here, you reveal the actual nib unit itself with the Pilot Con 50 inserted in the back. You can use cartridges with it, and it comes with a metal cap that you can put over the plastic cartridge so that the snap function here won't ruin or hurt or potentially cause leaks by breaking that plastic, which is really convenient. I personally like the way that the pen feels. The only reason why it's in my honorable mentions is because I knew that a lot of people love this pen, but a lot of people hate this pen because of the clip. Some people get really annoyed with its placement. For me, it fits right in between my thumb and my finger. Yes, I do feel it a little bit, but it's really not obtrusive. But some people, it's very obtrusive. So that's why it's in my honorable mentions, but I still think it's a phenomenal fountain pen. So guys, question for you, comments below. What is your top 5 cartridge converter fountain pens? I'd be really interested to know. Like I said before, if you check out the iCard, there is full reviews on all of the aforementioned pens, including the 2 honorable mentions. So definitely check those out. If you got any other comments, questions, concerns, anything like that, feel free to leave them down below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button. And if you click on this little circle here with the hello picture, it will subscribe you to this channel where new videos come out every Monday and Friday and the occasional Q&A on Tuesday. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.